We have the NLC president who's raised concerns about the 5 billion naira palliative. Comrade Joe Ajero has found time to have a conversation with us and explain the position of the NLC in details on this matter. Comrade Ajero, are you with us?
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Thank you. This the NLC is opposed to the 5 billion naira palliatives of the government. I'd like you to speak more on this, and I also understand that you're concerned about the funding as well.
Well, the details of the 5 billion naira released to states is still not clear, whether it is a loan to the states or it is actually a palliative to the states or to Nigerians. But whichever might be the case, let's assume that it is a palliative and is not loan to the states. You will agree that, it is difficult to feel the impact of such amount at a time like this. At a time like this, when the Bureau of Statistics have come up to say that over 133 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor, you start to wonder, the impact of 185 billion naira to 133 million naira by their admittance, who are multidimensionally poor. And from the time this report was released and now, in fact, the first increase in pump price of petroleum products and the last one, moved a lot of people from the borderline, to a very high level of poverty. Now, if you calculate it, if you do your own arithmetic, you discover that this will not translate to 1,500 naira per person. And you ask, is that the impact? Is that what we really want to achieve? Assuming it is a loan, now what is going to happen? You garbage in and garbage out. Let's equally look at the issue of even if it's 6 trailers loads of rice, there is no state where you share it to the poor that one person will get a cup of rice. And it's not a question of saying organized labor should get their facts before they talk. We talk based on the facts that are pushed out. Because the spokesperson to Mr. President was saying that with regards to our response to the issue of a further increase. In the first increase, the spokesperson to Mr. President didn't address Nigerians there was an increase. It was alleged that it was market forces. In the second increase, the spokesperson to Mr. President did not say a word. He didn't address Nigerians. It was alleged to market forces. And the market forces started speculating again that there will be another increase. And the organized labor warned market forces. And the spokesperson of Mr. President now addressed the country. Can't you see confusion? So who is fooling who? Why would the spokesperson of Mr. President address Nigerians when the so-called market forces have taken an action or want to take an action? So I think we should get clearer, and be consistent in some of the things we are doing. If it is 5 billion, I think organized labor, want anybody to do the calculation and tell us how it is going to impact, to Nigerians on what is happening presently. If it is a loan, then too bad.
Mr. Ajero, the NEC also set up another committee, a committee specifically to meet with the NLC on this matter. Do you think that this is a meeting that should have held before the conclusion from yesterday?
Well, let me just say one or two things about the committee. There are some members of that committee that their inclusion are highly contentious and objectionable. If in that committee, the governor of Imo State is in that committee, then it's objectionable by level. because for 40 months, a large percentage of IMO workers have not been paid their salary. 40 months. For almost 6 months, the governor has his own NLC he's working with. So why will he come to the national to discuss with us when he doesn't recognize NLC? He had few people he says his own NLC. Now, what is he coming for us to learn? Are we going to learn, the aspect of not paying people for 40 months? Well, NLC is out for the engagement, anytime, any day. That's our job.
We would have to take a quick break now. When we come back, we'll conclude with you. And then we'll talk to Professor Magnus Backol, who is an economic and business strategist and former economic advisor to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, as well as the former SDP presidential candidate Adewale Adebayo. Please stay with us. The conversation continues after the break. Welcome back to Politics Today, live from our studios in Abuja. Let's quickly conclude with the NLC president now. You've maintained that you don't trust the governors. You've also said that you're concerned about the funding, 185 billion naira, which is not enough in your own words. So let me ask you this question. NEC has taken this decision and you are demanding are you demanding that it should be put on hold? And what happens if the initiative goes ahead, especially because funds have already been released, so also have grains? What's the NLC's next move?
Well, like I said, the NEC equally announced a committee they said to interface with labor. As usual, we take all our proposals, to the committee, negotiate, and then equally provide ways. We think that the problems and sufferings of Nigerians could be further ameliorated. So we are ready to work. We are doing our homework to make sure that we go beyond this mere tokenism, and get some permanent relief. And that's why it is cheering to hear that they have coming up with the CNG committees, and we want it to be thorough so that we'll have centers where the CNG people could refill their vehicles. We'll have some factories where even the cylinders could be produced, and all that, so that will facilitate that activity very fast and quickly. If we go into some of those measures, as we have been proposing and bringing to the table of negotiation, we could have gone far, than making proposal a few bags of rice and maybe 2,000 naira per person.
Very well then. Mr. Joe Ajero, I'd like to thank you for taking time out of a busy schedule to speak with us briefly. Thank you very much.